Hello, everyone. My name is Ron Tucker. Some of you may know me as Mr. Magic MIC, announcer for the University of Northern Colorado Bears wrestling team. Some of you may know me as Mr. BTT. Some of you may know me as Ron, but I am here today in collaboration with Heavyweight Nation, bringing you some great wrestling content to help you grow the sport. I want to thank Heavyweight Nation for giving me this opportunity or allowing me to be a part of something special and helping grow the sport of wrestling through media. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. For those who don't know me, like I said, my name is Ron Tucker. I'm originally from Illinois, up north Chicago area. I currently live in Greeley, Colorado. But I did wrestle for a very long time. I like to think that I was pretty good at it. Some may disagree, but that's not why I'm here. It's not about me. Today, I am bringing you some quality content regarding the U.S. Open that's coming up this weekend. A lot of big matches, a lot of big names are going to be there. So we're going to talk about the senior level competition that is happening this weekend between Greco, Freestyle, and the women's division. So we're definitely going to get into it. The top 10 matches that I think, once again, are going to be, the biggest matches that we're going to see this weekend. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, at number 10, at 65 kilograms for the men's freestyle division, we have Nick Lee versus Joey McKenna. Now, these two have wrestled quite a few times in the past year or so that's why it's at my number 10 spot. But I think it's going to be a different matchup than what we've seen in the past. The last time that we've seen these two wrestle against one another, it was at the World Team Trials last year, the challenge in 2022. So McKenna did pick up the tech fall victory over Nick Lee here. But I do think that Nick Lee is going to be in a much better position, not having to come off of a folk style season. He's definitely going to be more ready than he ever has been. Definitely has probably been focusing on freestyle for the last year, been really grinding and getting into it. But I do think that McKenna is going to be a hard person to stop. These two were in the Zagreb Open back in February with McKenna, losing in the finals. Picking up that silver medal. Lee was also in that bracket. He did lose in the quarterfinals, so he did not advance. He was not pulled back in. So I do think that this is going to be a big matchup for the both of them. I do think that Nick Lee has the opportunity here and the abilities to change the outcome of the previous matches, but McKenna is very good, so we'll see what happens. At number 9, we have an 86 kilogram men's freestyle matchup that could happen. The battle of the teammates to the power duo from a couple years back. We have Aaron Brooks versus Mark Hall. I think that this matchup, could really be, a standout at the U.S. Open this weekend. Brooks coming off of another national title, just dominant in everything that he did in that tournament. Taking on his former teammate Mark Hall would be huge. It's probably happened in the practice room plenty of times. Many of people have probably seen it and may be tired of it. But for the fans that weren't in that Penn State wrestling room, it's going to be a very fun and exciting match to watch. Mark Hall has been on the circuit a lot this past year. He was the 2022 U.S. Open champion, and then he also took bronze at the Zagreb this past February. So he is going to be a difficult opponent for Brooks. Brooks, who is coming off of a folk style season at a bit of a disadvantage. But I do think that this matchup is still going to be great regardless between these two. I do believe that, whoever comes out of this matchup is going to give Zahid a run for his money in the finals. But it is going to be a matchup that I think is going to possibly be the best matchup of the tournament. But who knows? It's one of the matches that I'm really looking forward to. At number 8, we have a 61 kilogram freestyle men's matchup between Seth Gross and Vito Orujao. Seth Gross and Vito Orujao, two of some of the greatest lightweight guys that we have in the country today. Vito Orujao coming off of a huge NCAA tournament, picking up big wins over Dayton Fix and Roman Bravo Young. doing a great job in that tournament, winning the OW award. He looked unstoppable in that tournament, and many people think that he's going to be unstoppable here at the U.S. Open. So he is bumping up from that 57 kilogram that he was, he has been at over the past few years. But taking on Seth Gross, who made a real big impact last year. He defeated Dayton Fix himself to get on the world team. Pretty much, some people will call it an upset, but I'm pretty sure, Seth Gross is going to tell you that he knew it was going to happen from the start. So, I mean, Seth Gross made the world team, did not medal at, the world championships. He did lose in the bronze medal match, ending up with a 5th place finish. But it's going to be a good match between these two. I definitely think that, Vito, with the way he looks right now, he definitely looks unstoppable. He definitely looks like, there's no way that Gross can beat him. But, that's the same thing that people thought last year when Gross wrestled Fix and he ended up beating him. So I think that between Gross and Orujao, that this could be a really good matchup. And I'm really looking forward to it. At number 7, we have 76 kilogram women's division. Now, this matchup here, it's big for not only, the women's division, but wrestling as a whole. This is something that I believe is going to, change the course of women's wrestling in a way. Help it grow. But between Adeline Gray and Kennedy Blades, I think that this matchup is going to be electric. Adeline Gray, a standout, a legend within women's wrestling, women's sports in general. She's coming back after taking time off, having children, and taking care of those children, of her children. She's looking to come back and pick up where she left off. A 6-time world champion and a 2-time Olympian, silver medal at the Tokyo Olympics. I think that Adeline Gray is, she still has everything that she did before. Just because she has had kids doesn't mean that anything is going to change. She may be better than the last time we saw her. Who knows? But she's possibility of going up against Kennedy Blades, one of the up-and-coming women wrestlers in the country today, in the world today. She just recently, a couple of weeks ago, went and qualified for the U20 World Championships, beating a very talented Welker in the finals. I do believe that between Blades and Gray, we're going to see some electric wrestling, some very heavy hand fighting, some great wrestling from both ladies. We saw Kennedy Blades put up a great fight against Stock in the Olympic trials in 2021. Unfortunately, she did not win, but she definitely showed why she should be in that conversation. So I definitely think that Blades versus Gray is going to be a phenomenal matchup, and I think it's going to be great for women's wrestling. At number 6, we have a 74 kilogram freestyle men's matchup. This one is another teammate matchup. It just so happens that it's another Penn State teammate matchup. We have Jason Null versus Vincenzo Joseph. These two right here were running, wrestling for quite a while, alongside other wrestlers like Bo Nickel and Zane Rutherford at Penn State. They kind of really, rebuild. I want to say rebuild. The foundation's always been there at Penn State. They kind of just kept growing it and building it and making it stronger. So these two are definitely close, and it's a definite possible matchup that we could see between these two. Null, 3-time national champion. He is the favorite to win the 74 kilogram freestyle bracket. He was on the World Cup team this past winter along with Vincenzo, so they were, teammates once again not too long ago. So I think that this is going to be a great matchup. But Nolf coming into this matchup, this possible matchup with a gold medal from the UWW ranking number 1 this year. So it's definitely, he definitely is continuing his greatness. He's definitely proving why he was one of the most dominant wrestlers in NCAA history, and why he will continue to be one of the most dominant wrestlers, on the circuit with the freestyle. So it's definitely going to be a great matchup. Vincenzo Joseph, on the other hand, at the second UWW ranking tournament this year, he did take silver. Did injury to fall out of the gold medal match, but he did make it there. That was a great job by him. The last year at the World Team Trials, Joseph did lose Chance Marsteller. He was down at the at a higher weight class. He is down now at a lower weight class at 74 kilograms. But when he did wrestle Marsteller, he did put up a fight, dropping the first match in the best of 3 series, picking up the second match, but then losing in that third and final match. But Vincenzo Joseph, I believe, is going to give Null a run for his money. I'm a fair believer in teammates being the hardest people to wrestle, because they know exactly what you do and how you do it. So I definitely think that this is going to be a great matchup between these two, because they're going to have to pull out some new things against one another in order to win. And at number 5, we are going to the big boys. Heavyweight Nation can't be Heavyweight Nation without heavyweights, duh. So we're going to talk about the 130 kilogram Greco men's possible matchup that I think, not many people are going to see the reasoning behind this, but just give me a second, right? So Colton Schultz has been phenomenal within the heavyweights. Whether it's folk style or Greco over the last couple of years. He has always solidified himself as one of the top wrestlers in the country. He made the finals last year at the NCAA tournament, lost to Gable in the finals, Gable Stevenson in the finals, but he still put on a heck of a tournament. If you haven't seen that semifinal match between Colton Schultz and Jordan Wood, you should go give it a look. But Colton Schultz definitely has been he's definitely put on a rampage here over the last couple of years in terms of what he's done and what he's capable of. But there has been one roadblock in that scenario, and that has been Adam Kuhn. Adam Kuhn coming back after taking some time off and going to pursue a career in the NFL, getting signed with the Tennessee Titans. He, accomplished a lot in a very little bit amount of time, and the wrestling community supported him the entire way. But he is now back, looking to go for a gold medal, looking to achieve his dream of an Olympic gold medal. So he's definitely has the capabilities to get there, but he's got to get through Colton. Colton, who has not stopped wrestling over the last couple of years, may be the one to upset Kuhn. Kuhn has beaten Colton the last few times that they wrestled in the 2021 Olympic trials. Kuhn did beat Colton in the best of 3 series, and he also beat Colton in 2019 at the World Team Trials. So Colton's looking to go ahead and pick up a win against Kuhn and finally get that advantage over him. But I do think this is a matchup where Colton's definitely going to try and prove himself that he is one of the top heavyweights when it comes to Greco, if not the best heavyweight in the country when it comes to Greco, while at the same time Kuhn is trying to chase that dream and reestablish himself as that top heavyweight in the Greco-Roman Greco-Roman wrestling. And at number 4, it is a 79 kilogram freestyle matchup. We have Carter Stirachi taking on Alex Derringer. These two have wrestled before. You may think that they wrestled in the final somewhere, or a best out of 3 matchup, but it wasn't. At the World Team Trials last year, Derringer and Stirachi met in the wrestlebacks, with Stirachi picking up the win over Derringer by a score of 5-1. Stirachi, has not participated in a lot of international tournaments, while Derringer, on the other hand, has been on the circuit for quite some time since he left college, since he graduated college. But Stirachi coming off of another national championship, undefeated season. A lot of news about him, saying that he felt that he should have won the Hodge, which, a lot of people will argue that is the truth. So he's definitely going to be coming out here with a mentality of he's got to beat everybody. I definitely think that whoever wins between these two right here has the chance to beat Marsteller in the finals. Marsteller, who is the favorite to win at the moment, but Stirachi and Derringer may have, may say otherwise. So definitely think that Stirachi versus Derringer is going to be a phenomenal matchup. Derringer looking to get his lick back from last year. Stirachi looking to continue his tear. So I think that this matchup will be a big indicator of what's going to happen in that 79 kilogram bracket. And at number 3, we have the 86 kilogram freestyle for the men's division. This matchup here is a matchup, that I think has all the capabilities of creating fireworks, all of the capabilities of creating a future rivalry, if you ask me. But I have here Aaron Brooks versus Zahid Valencia. Like I said, Aaron Brooks coming off of another national title. He has been on a roll, but, that is folk style. So with Zahid being on a dominant role freestyle-wise, Zahid, ever since he left college, has been doing a phenomenal job on the circuit and in these international tournaments, taking bronze at the Zagreb back in February. He has been in the Final X for the past few years. In 2021, he was in the Final X, and in 2018, losing both times. The first time to Dake, the second time to David Taylor. It's not like he's gone out there and he has competed, but unfortunately has never succeeded in making one of those teams. But Zahid versus Aaron Brooks, I think, will be a great match. Brooks definitely at a bit of a disadvantage. Zahid, like I said, has been working freestyle for a long time, and he has been doing pretty well in the international tournaments and the rankings. So I think Brooks is going to have his hands full, but I also think at the same time that, Brooks shouldn't be underestimated. He may come into this tournament and, completely dominate like he has been in the NCAA tournament and season. So we'll see what happens between these two, but I think that it's anybody's matchup for that 86 kilograms. And at number 2, we have a rivalry renewed between Spencer Lee and Nick Siriano at 57 kilograms for the men's freestyle division. These two right here have always, been some very competitive guys, facing each other not quite a few times, but a rivalry that's been over the past, 10 years. Originally started in 2012 at Super 32 is where we end up today. Right now, Spencer Lee does have that career record over Siriano, with the record of 2-1. So, Siriano is definitely looking to come back and pick up a win over Spencer Lee. Spencer Lee coming off of a unfortunate NCAA tournament, losing in the semis to Matt Ramos by pinfall, and then having to injury default out of the rest of the tournament, ended up placing 6th. He was on par to become, the next 4-time NCAA champion. So, him signing up for the U.S. Open shows that he is ready to go, and that, he has that mindset that he is going to win. So I am ready to see these two go head out there and compete, fight it out, see who picks up the win. Spencer Lee, before the NCAA tournament, looked like nobody could beat him. So I definitely think that he's in a good position in terms of what he can do. We all know what he can do. Siriano, it's been a little bit since we've seen him last, but I definitely think between these two, it's going to set off some fireworks. It's going to create a lot of noise. Eyes are going to be glued to the mat when these two are on there. So when this matchup does happen this weekend, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I'm definitely hoping, whatever happens, at least it's exciting. Some quick honorable mentions that I want to give out right now. There's a lot of matches going on this weekend, especially when we're talking the senior level. There's still a lot going on. So I want to give some special shout outs to some matches that I think that could happen that weren't quite all that good to make the list, but I felt like they still should get a mention. First up, at 77 kilograms for the men's Greco division, Kamal Bey versus Jesse Porter. Those two, the last time they wrestled, I've been saying created fireworks a lot in this video. They created fireworks. I mean, Chinese illegal fireworks. Fireworks that if you don't run away like Forrest Gump, you may get impaled. Like that's what I'm talking about. Those guys right there know how to put on a match, and they know how to wrestle, and they know how to entertain. Even though their mindset is to win, they somehow always seem to entertain. So I'm looking forward to that one. Second honorable mention to 79 kilograms for freestyle for the men's division. Definitely Marsteller versus Stirachi. I definitely don't think that this one isn't going to be as exciting as Derringer versus Stirachi, only because of the style of Marsteller and how he wrestles. I definitely think that Derringer has the chance to create a more exciting match with Stirachi, but I do think that Marsteller versus Stirachi is still going to be a great matchup. I just think Derringer versus Stirachi would be better. At 61 kilograms for men's freestyle, definitely DeSanto versus Orujao. Austin DeSanto coming off of, some great international tournaments, doing a great job wrestling out there. Orujao coming off of a great NCAA tournament. These two are going to be aggressive. It's going to be a great match. DeSanto, his aggressiveness, while we may see a lot of quick movements and speed from Orujao. So we'll see how those two match up there. 86 kilograms for the men's freestyle, another rivalry renewed between these two. We have Mark Hall and Zahid Valencia. These two have wrestled many of times throughout their college careers, with Valencia getting the better of most of those matches, but Mark Hall definitely picked up quite a few wins as well. These two have a chance of seeing each other. Mark Hall will have to get through Aaron Brooks to get there, but I do think that, regardless, it would be a good match. And then the last honorable mention we have is at 74 kilograms for the men's freestyle division. We are looking at Jason Null and Keegan O'Toole. Like I said, Jason Null has been one of the most dominant wrestlers, for a very long time now, in and out of college. So we'll see how he pairs up. But the possibility of him facing Keegan O'Toole is high and likely. O'Toole, who is coming off of a very good NCAA tournament and season, losing twice to Derek Carr within the season, two or three times, I can't remember exactly, but losing to Derek Carr in the season and then picking up a big win against him in the finals at the NCAA tournament was huge. So I know that must have felt good for O'Toole. So I know he's going into this tournament with a lot of confidence. So I'm excited to see how O'Toole pairs up with Null here. And at number 1, drum roll please, we have Gable Steveson taking on Mason Parris. This possible matchup has a lot of implications, and we're going to talk about it. We have this year's Hodge winner and Mason Parris having a dominant season, having well into the double digits in pins, being one of the best wrestlers that we saw in the nation in the NCAA this year, taking on Gable Steveson, one of the wrestlers that we thought was the greatest we have ever seen, coming back after, taking some time away, going with the WWE, being a part of that. Gable Steveson has come back. He's been in the news, the wrestling world media a lot recently with a lot of podcasts and interviews that he's done. And, he's definitely saying that he's back. I definitely think that this match, like I said, implications. We have somebody who just won the, Hodge Award, going into the freestyle season against one of, an Olympic gold medalist in Gable Steveson, who has been arguably what some people may say the best wrestler that they've seen wrestle for, the US of A. So I definitely think that there's a lot riding on both of these guys right now. Gable Steveson is coming into this matchup with, WWE. He's probably in, with him not being in action in WWE quite yet. He probably became a forgotten name by those fans in WWE. So he's got to get back out there into the wrestling world, not make a name for himself again, but kind of just get his name booming again, get his name rolling in the rumor mill, just so that they can, build off of that and kind of generate a fan base around Gable when he comes back to WWE. On the other hand, you have Mason Parris, who has been down, who may be a WWE wrestler later on. He is a part of that NIL deal that they have going on. So But Mason Paris definitely trying to keep this streak going. He's been dominant all year. He's not looking to stop that now. Gable Steveson, Mason Paris, I think that matchup right there is going to be amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into this video. Like I said, thank you again to Heavyweight Nation for this collaboration. I'm excited to see what the future holds and what we can do. But I'm excited for the U.S. Open this weekend. I'm excited to watch some wrestling. It's been, far too long since, the NCAA tournament, and we just recently had Women's Nationals and a few other things going on. But I am excited for this U.S. Open this weekend, and I am ready for it. So thank you all. Enjoy, and just let's watch some good wrestling, man. Yeah, thank you.